All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to State Shield 2024. James Hosford here. I've got Nicola Gertler with me, fresh off that Queensland win. How's that game for you guys?
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. We executed our plan pretty well. Our aim was to make lots and lots of passes around hoops on offense, and I think we did that. Shout out to Hannah Walravens and Jack Emerton Bain, who were electric on offense, connected really, really well. So we're really happy with our performance after that game. Obviously, it's been a disappointing morning for Victoria, but we're really pumped to take on Queensland.
You know, that's the hard part, isn't it? That I was talking to Jack about on commentary before, which is responding from a loss like that. That's always the big challenge, and you know, it can always go a couple of ways. Do you come up big and sort of angry in a good way and have the right things to prove, or are you really flat about it against a Queensland team who were fresh in the morning? And it looked a bit of both. Like they were. For a team that like you had the better of yesterday, in patches it was a lot closer, but then when it really mattered, you were like, nah, kind of stuff this after everything sort of been on, and you looked like you really clutched out really well at the end, especially post-catch when you got those 3 straight goals to finish it.
Yeah, definitely. Our snitch on pitch play this weekend probably hasn't been our strongest aspect. We're relying a lot on Max Pockley, who caught our 2 snitches yesterday, who hasn't played since last State Shield. And then we're relying on Andrew Cohen, who has got an absolutely busted up thumb. His thumb is like so fat. It is 3 times the size of a normal thumb.
Wow.
And it is black and blue. And we are shocked that he was like, yeah, give me a run.
That's sad because he was incredible yesterday. He was one of the real superstars that him and Ashley King in particular.
Oh, Ash and Andre, because they play both on Muggles together, they connect super, super well. So it was absolutely in our game plan to play them together wherever we could. Because Muggles only had 6 players this year, so they're playing a whole game together. Andre is actually our highest goal scorer for the Vic Cup season as well, which is really awesome. So, they've both been really good this weekend. And last year we didn't have Ashley King. And I think that our goal scoring suffered, and we didn't have anyone that connected with Andre as well as Ash does. So that's been really beneficial for us this weekend.
Yeah, exactly right. I think it was a lot of saying yesterday, Andre, Ash and Max, all great players, all like very experienced players and well established, yet somehow they're still underrated and all 3 of them kind of fly under the radar.
I think it's just because like Andre and Ash and Max are such good players, but they're not in the Team Australia program.
And
I think players, players that are not in the Australian national squad program fly really, really far under the radar. Like another one is Sam Kilpatrick.
Yep, 100%.
He's
always has been
absolutely smashing it. He's our captain. He's very motivational. We love him very much. But Sam was MVP of State Shield 2 years ago. Last year, again, top player. This year, again, top player. But not part of the Australian national squad Drop Bears program. So probably doesn't get that recognition they deserve.
And that's, like, to be clear, that's largely by choice in a lot of their cases. That's just they're not being, because they would all be absolute like competitors. Someone like Sam Kilpatrick with the 45-person ANS this year would be in that, very clearly for me.
Oh, absolutely. But they're just here to have fun.
Yeah. So, we've got Blue Tongue versus Blue Bottles, straight into it. We've got the start matchup I really wanted here. We've got Giacomo Abuba versus Brendan Briscoe. So this is the Brendy versus Jack contest I wanted.
And then we've got Ryan Shields versus Harry Jones running for the Bludger at the start of the game.
Giacomo's in sub-box. Number 68.
Oh, it's H.
It's H, yeah, that's my bad there. That makes most sense because Jack's really
good beat there by Samantha Chittenden. Scooped up by Raj Kapoor. How are you feeling about this game? Yesterday, the Blue Bottles really struggled against the Blue Tongues. I think the final score was 200 to Blue Tongues, 20 to Blue Bottles.
And they caught, for 50, I believe, Blue Bottles, my suspicion from knowing these teams and the dynamic between them, Raj, that's great stuff there. So I think this first game will be a really tight one, and the Tongues might be a bit cagey, and the Bottles will be absolutely frothing and really want it. But if the Tongues get through it, I think they might get away with them in the second. So Brendy's risk. Oh, is he going to go out there? No, he's done really well there. How's the underfoot? How's the conditions? I've seen a lot of them today. I think I saw one from you at one point.
Yes. I trip over my feet
that
often.
That is fair. So we've got Liv Coleman back in the... Oh, beautiful inside step on Amelia Matthews.
Oh, huge there by Liv Coleman. Passes off to Raj Kapoor, scoring first blood for the Blue Tongues. The conditions are actually pretty good. The balls are I'm going to thank myself for ordering brand new bludgers that are super grippy. And I also pumped them up last weekend with the help of Maddie Elliott, and we made sure they were like perfectly pumped up to like small hand specificity.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So like everyone, I don't think anyone has really had a problem gripping those bludgers this weekend. Apart from yesterday morning when it was a little bit rainy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ground's pretty hard. There's a few slips just because there's just not a lot of grip on that grass.
2 in a row. That was
but it's nice.
Outstanding from Carrie. So that little 1-2-3 play from Liv Coleman to Carrie Crawford to Raj Kapoor. And that was off the great defensive work from Crawford with a long risky ball, because the wind's still it's manageable, but there's a consistent breeze here, and there's a long ball to Mayu Kawaguchi that wasn't the best option there. So with Heichi, Haritha Seneviratne coming up with it now, Logan Davis in the corner. So they've also, happy to see the Bottles have started Amelia Matthews, their youngest and rawest and absolute first year player, just a few NQLs in to a young career. She's got the ball out here in the corner now. Great privilege to see her be able to start a State Shield final.
Rebecca Robb putting some good pressure on Samantha Chittenden there. Oh, big overthrow from H. Seneviratne.
That's his range. You've got to back him to take them, but yeah, that happens sometimes.
Oh, great fight there from Rebecca Robb, getting bludger control of Zale Briscoe-Hoff. That was really nice.
So you got Rebecca Robb on with Ryan Shields. Ryan Shields has been outstanding this weekend, I've thought, because he's new. He's been doing a lot all year through the Valkyries Macquarie program beating, but a lot of that's by necessity with where their team's at. But Cameron Walker, the Blue Bottles coach, was very clear early on that Ryan Shields is part of the beta plans here, and he's gone from, beautiful. So that's 3 for New South Wales Blue Tongues, 3 for Raj. Raj Kapoor's on one of those tears he gets on. I've noticed that it's all the same way there. Because each New South Wales teams know how each other defends, they're running their main driving threat through the pocket channel. They're getting Liv Coleman and Carrie Crawford coming down the 45-degree angle, and Raj Kapoor's just taking alley balls uncontested inside the keeper zone. That's game over.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Blue Bottles are trying really hard to hold bludger control because they know that it's going to be essential for them keeping in this game. But Rebecca Robb was unfortunately positioned behind the defensive chaser, threw a shot at Raj and just didn't get it off in time because you're in an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the perils of, like, lots of beaters do hide on hoops because it's such a safe position to be. Yeah. But sometimes, like, you just get caught behind your quaffle players.
Lovely little screen from Davis, gives Seneviratne room, but that's a hard hoop to shoot on there because you've got Liv Coleman covering it, so that's not the angle there, and it's well blocked. Davis recovers it. Little over hoops ball. That's Raj Kapoor there. You can't take the over hoops ball. So they've made the change here to Jacob Sutherland in green. So I was about to say they're playing the tall line, but Kapoor's coming off now. I assume for Cooper Fitzgerald. Yeah, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, definitely. And we've also seen Carrie Crawford sub for Arabella Barr. Cooper Fitzgerald and Arabella Barr fresh off the Nations Cup lineup 2 weekends
great form
ago.
All weekend as well. Been very good. Fitzgerald, as Cooper Fitzgerald always will happily tell you, he was the leading goal scorer for the Blue Tongues at the end of yesterday, plus the 60 points that he got them for 2 snitch catches as well. So, and there's another one there. No, it's just rimmed out.
Goal.
Davis sends it back up for Seneviratne. Oh, Sutherland with the
good
steal.
strip there with for Sutherland.
You got Kawaguchi high. That's not really... Kawaguchi's keen for the game there, trying to put high pressure on Sutherland, even though she probably should get back on defence, but it's worth it if you can make that high stop. Yeah, Matthews beat out there, which gave them the
Ryan
lane.
Shields makes a great long beat, but unfortunately hits Cooper instead of Jacob. Sometimes that just happens, you know. Like, those long beats are hard. Hard to be accurate for, but not too bad.
So we're at 40-0 now. We've just had Georgia Kozlova come on, which that definitely, I was talking to Amelia Matthews earlier, Georgia Kozlova may have the least experience of any player in their career to ever be at a State Shield. Alongside maybe one or two of the Blue Balls from last year, but young Nightmare who's played probably maximum 3 NQLs just in little patches and bits and pieces for the Young Daydreams team. Sort of have Amy Molino on, which is the total opposite career, also at a first State Shield in her 7th year.
Wow.
Having snuck through kind of 6 years in the forgotten, fading Newcastle program without recognition, and has now joined us at the Nightmares and smashing everyone up like we all knew she would, and got these rewards she deserves. And it's had a tough weekend because it's all sort of new and overwhelming for her, and sort of there's a size match up there sometimes, but she's also been outstanding and scored. It was one of only 2 or 3 goals that the Blue Balls managed to put on the Blue Tongues at all yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's gone out to Coleman in the pocket there. Feeds back to Arabella Bar, which is always, that's the ASU way. They like to use Bar high as a primary ball carrier. And now Southern will take that shot he always makes.
Nah.
Always takes, I was about to say, he doesn't make them at quite the highest percentage you would want. And now we've got Giacomo Abuba on for the first time.
I think that shot from Sutherland is really dangerous because
it's on.
There's not a lot of players, like obviously withstanding Liv Coleman, Cameron Walker and Raj Kapoor, that are tall enough to block that top hoop very consistently. Especially like Victoria, we're all pretty short with the exception of Ed Van A. And I think that shot really is deadly, but it's also a really risky play. Taking shots will always be a risk because there's just this chance that you're not going to hit it. And if you don't have a receiver there on the other side, you're throwing the ball into dead space.
Yeah, exactly right. And so we got Brooms down.
I'm not sure what's happening here.
Got Brooms down, also some camera issues there. All right, so yeah, Brooms down here. No foul on the play here, so we're going to be resuming with Giacomo Abuba with the quaffle. And so we've got JV James Lim on with Georgina Kozlu, which is the right way to do it. That's club teammates. Also, JV James Lim is just always the king of just working with younger beaters. And, I said it on comms, Harry Jones and Max Brown said it on comms yesterday, is the amount of times we'll, as Nightmares or state teams, be figuring out the lines and just like, who do all the pairs work? And then it works out that it's just JV and anybody, every pair. It's somehow the best pair. He's just so versatile. And so out to Merlino in the corner. Size match up there, Coleman gets the cover. But Eden Hodges rescued that really well, but was too pressured and kind of little backhand there. And Fitzgerald gets the rescue, and they have a fast break opportunity here. Ashana Bay has cleared the path for Fitzgerald. So there's 3 back. Fitzgerald
going himself.
Hodge does well, but Fitzgerald gets the goal. 50-0.
Field goal.
Yeah. So 50-0 to Blue Tongues, which is, as we talked about, there was a chance that this sort of result could potentially happen. It's an interesting one because obviously it's all matchups because you guys were, as Victoria, were probably the better team than the Blue Tongues for a lot of that game yesterday and had the lead for the majority of it. And then had that loss this morning to the Blue Bottles. But then there's this matchup, and sometimes the matchups go the other way because the Blue Bottles are so keen to get at the Blue Tongues. But it's a case of like they all train together really well and they know each other's games, so there's nothing they can really tactically do on each other. So it's going to come down to the talent, and the Blue Tongues are always going to be more talented. That's a lovely one too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just how it goes picking your A and your B team.
Yeah.
Like, your A team is always going to be those more experienced players. I don't think there is a person on the Blue Tongues. Oh, my apologies. The only person on the Blue Tongues that has not played for Team Australia, Auroras or Drop Bears, in this year or last year, so last 2 years, 18 months really, is Tom Russell, who happens to be the coach of the Team Australia program. Yeah, they're all involved, they're all incredibly experienced at this level, And even the ones who haven't been at this level as much, people like Tom Russell and Cooper Fitzgerald have come through the program and, they were perpetual Blue Bottles for years, but now, Fitzgerald's a 2-time Blue Tongue and Aurora, and Russell's finally got the Blue Tongues gig after 1,000 years of being a Blue Bottle. And coaching. Yep. Big coaching gig as well. I'm going to assume this is a Blue Bottle timeout because it's a good time for it. Try and regroup here. But as Blue Bottles, you don't have, as you need as a young team, you don't have the element of surprise that they would have had to a degree on you guys. Like, you would have had reasonable prep and you've played them a few times, but they had some different things to throw at you before, like Chris Collins, who's been dominating all weekend in green, suddenly coming to beat again. And then there would be players there you don't have massive scouting info on, whereas the Blue Tongues just know these matchups so well and how to handle them. So it's a hard matchup. Yeah, I think we just played, I think there was a point where they put Vicky Hun and Chris Collins on at beater and they just outplayed us. Yeah. And it was really hard because previous to that we'd been dominating the bludger play and then they put those two on and the bludger play went to something that's more 50-50 and we struggled a little bit with that intensity change. Yeah. Whereas yesterday I felt like the whole game against Blue Bottles was very, very intense. We were very, very on top of it. And we had we were probably going 50-50 or potentially winning the beta game yesterday against Blue Tongues, depending on the matchup. Yep. So Molino, good patience. So he gets his knee bone out back, who
as happens again and again through State Shield 22, Midwinter 23 and 24, Nations Cup, Chloe Kneebone seems to always pop up at the top of the MVP conversations. There's only so many times that can happen before it's no longer a fluke. No, not that anyone's considering that, but as I like to say, there's certain people who should be on the plane next year. It's great from Eden Hodge. And again, Eden knows really well how someone like an Arabella Barr plays. She's always, to her credit, plays sort of bigger than her size, and that's the risk you take with those things sometimes, when you're willing to be really aggressive in the physical contact there.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Chloe Kneebone was excellent at the Nations Cup 2 weekends ago. Yep. I was very surprised when she was selected only as a reserve, but I'm really glad that she got lots and lots of game time because, and I think she ended up being on the starting lineup for the Auroras at Nations Cup.
Yeah, that was a clear tactical change through the weekend from Tom Russell to rely on the big sort of breakout stars to a degree, except, those in the know already knew, Chloe Kneebone and Charlotte Wen, who have just continued that straight into this weekend. They're both dominating. So we got Oliver Dinner on now beating. So Max got his ice great there, so to a double block play there. Molina gets to the corner. Unfortunately, it's ended up back to Max Brenner. This surely will be a goal. Tom Russell gets it. Oh, great from Molina, but the height matchup's just not there on Ava McConnell, who is taller than often perceived, especially against this blue bottle chaser line, which is shorter.
We always talk about Ava being like a small player, but Ava is taller than me, and I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
Like, I am by no means a tall player, but everyone's like, oh, Ava's so little, Ava's short, and I guess like when we compare someone to like Liv, Liv Coleman, Ava is short, but like Ava really in comparison, like for the is not that small.
That's great patience from Abuba there, because it opens up a no-risk shot that gives Eden Hodge the ball back, but then Tom Russell with the clutch tackle makes the shot go haywire. Brenner's ball.
Oh, no!
But Ollie Dinner's snuck in there. Was that Ashan?
No, Ashan beat Max. Ashana Bay beat Max Brenner.
Max took it as a
friendly
beat,
fire.
So Tom Russell's slowing it down. Giving it to Max Brenner, making the sub. Here comes Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan Briscoe-Hoff back on. Who was actually upgraded from the Blue Bottles, initially on the Blue Bottles roster, but Harrison Kane pulled out, so was upgraded. Good pass over from Max.
That's great from McConnell to hold it up there, because she recognised that shot wasn't on, and then just the timing didn't quite work with Bianca Scalone and good defence. But Scalone still got it. This is where her physicality can work here. So Brenner's got it. Sean Armstrong with the aggressive beater player there. It's on, but that's the problem, is it's opened it up now. He's going to have to make a beat play on the back there. They've called beat on Armstrong there from Ashana Bay, which I didn't see, but it must have snuck in around his feet.
Yeah, I was also unsure about that beat call, but the refs have called beat.
Sends us up for Scalone. She's got that shot. Yeah, that's her range. You can't leave Scalone open at the keeper line there. That's her shooting. Beautiful. So that'll get us to 80-0. So Quaffle coming back up here with Giacomo Abuba, hiding in behind Ollie Dinner. So Sean Armstrong on as well. It's good to see him get substantial minutes now as another of the reserves against Luke Derrick. So Derrick on for his first run this game here with Maddie Moulton. It was a matchup that they're doing a lot more this weekend. That's certainly a matchup that wouldn't have worked a few years ago, but Moulton's improvements and Derrick's adaptability have both improved. Oh, there's the clean strip, but Moulton saves the day there. So McConnell was pressured, tried to get rid of it. Giacomo Abuba with the turnover, but Maddie Moulton cleans up after them. So still bludgeon control for Blue Tongues. Maddie Moulton's going to sub here, I think, for Kelsey Collins. No, we're going with Sam Chittenden. So I haven't had a really good look at this all weekend because I've been so busy, so I'm very keen to now. I assume it's been just kind of low-key outstanding somehow, because Sam Chittenden beating all weekend as a superstar chaser, just making a complete shift to another role that she's kind of unfairly good at as well. Great. So we're hitting that phase now where they're getting sloppy. And
nice
pulled the trigger too
by
early there, and Brenda's done really well.
Brenner.
We've got a stoppage.
I think there might be a discussion about Luke Derrick's tackle on Sean Armiston.
Back here looks like Michelle Duke's coming in to speak about. Yep. So we've got Cameron Walker coming in.
I think Sam Chittenden, female Sam Chittenden, the woman, because there is
the beater. We can use that this weekend. Now.
The beater Sam Chittenden that plays for the New South Wales Blue Tongues. I think she's been pretty good, but it's also obvious that this is her first time properly beating at a really intense level. But I like that she's got confidence, and she plays really high up the field and throws the bludger a lot. It's something that we maybe don't see enough from our beaters. Like, lots of beaters do hang out on hoops. And Sam's really bringing something new and dynamic to it. Oh, good beat there by Sean Armisen.
So we've got a fast break chance here. Chittenden, so this is where the experience comes in. Chittenden's chased after the beater contest there. But it's set it up really well. Kneebone to Hodge. He's beat, but there's still an offload chance here for Abuba. He's got it back. Opportunity by Max Brenner with the clutch tackle. That's great work. Oh,
nearly.
Shot from the ground, nearly made that. But you're right about the confidence. So, Nightmare Secret here, that's half of her chaser game too. It's all just the energy and the confidence of Sam Chittenden. She'll just take on whatever's on. And it's all about the reps there. You'll see Sam Chittenden be confident to make those shots because she'll spend half an hour at training making 20 of those attempts and making 0 of them. And then but being confident enough to keep doing them. And then what happens when it comes up in a clutch moment in the game, she'll make it because of the reps. That's the nature of it. You just got to back yourself. Molino's with it. She's done perfectly there on the alley, but gets the beat. Probably it's always hard when you do those long balls that are very narrow on the hoops there rather than using the sort of the pocket space around. It's still something a lot of us in this country, as for Nations Cup, struggle with, remembering to not go directly over hoops. Oh, great beat of play there.
Nice work by Ollie Dinner there, cleaning up Luke Derrick, but unfortunately that's no, it's not a goal. Yes, it is a goal. I'm not sure.
Don't think they called it. Must have been a beat in there.
It.
There we go. There's the first goal for the Blue Bottles. Great stuff from Giacomo Abuba there. So there's a stoppage. I don't know if this is going to come back. I mean, even though that previous one is a goal, it makes no difference. Both goals are good, it looks like they're calling. So we've got Richard Crumrine as the head referee, doing lots again all weekend. And so Raj Kapoor restarting. So Kapoor's back on for his second run here, dominating. He dominated the first run. Got the Briscoe bros on together now for the first time. Zale, as he always does, just running all around the place like crazy, being ultra aggressive. So Liv Coleman again, that's always where she's best. She loves that pocket position there. Kapoor with a little switch there. Coleman just takes it herself.
That's
beautiful.
Huge. Liv's another player that has gained, Liv Coleman is another player that has gained so much confidence recently. And I think that the ESU Daywalkers program really promotes, they have a small team.
Yeah.
And the benefit of having a small team is that everyone gets lots of minutes.
Yeah.
So they're doing lots and lots of reps. They train, twice a week. So you can really see, the development of those players has been quite high.
Yeah, exactly right. And something else that it's easy to forget because of, natural athleticism and immediate talent and how fast her rise was. She's still an incredibly young new player, so she's still in that, upward curve phase. She's still going to keep having rapid improvements as what is only a third-year player. She was straight into the drop there so quickly. So yeah, you see those clear improvements every year. So now we've got Eloise Taylor, Amber Brearley, Alex Butler on now for the Blue Bottles.
Back to JV, James Lim and Georgia Kozlova in beater for the Blue Bottles. They've got loads of control.
Already, yeah.
So Kelsey Collins looking to go behind and push from behind. Zale Briscoe Huff looking to come from in front.
So they've got Carrie Crawford in that rotation with Arabella Barr doing that high work. Fitzgerald, that's a beautiful ball through traffic. It's not worked for Kapoor, but Liv Coleman managed to score the goal there. JV James Lim had the open beat, but just kind of had too much shepherding traffic from his own players there.
Oh, that's no beaters.
Butler with a huge screen. Sends him back up. He's gone too set direct there, yeah. It's hard in contact.
It's really, it's hard. It's hard also, when your team is screaming at you, no beaters, to keep your eyes open. And look for passing options. You kind of get a little bit panicked and you're like, oh my God, I need to do it myself. I'm the person holding the ball.
That's the difficulty of the no beaters call. It makes you rush. It's something we've worked on so much as Nightmares over the years, especially after a disaster in the 2022 NQL finals, where the old the terms like no beaters and fast break don't mean you have to go that fast. You've got all day. That's the whole point. You're in dominant position. Use it. You can be completely patient because you should be able to finish it eventually.
Good beat there by JV cleaning up.
And resets ball with Eloise Taylor. That's great stuff. So the Bottles' defense has been excellent in this sort of second half of the game. It's just hard for them to score. But the game, it's been 20-10 over about the last 6 to 7 minutes now. So Sam Chittenden back on. There's just an aggression and a confidence there. It's one of those weird things where I think a lot of that is, I'm not entirely sure she knows what she's doing, and that's often a very powerful thing. I get that sense out of Sam Kilpatrick sometimes.
Oh, I mean, Sam's big thing to us is he's like, I operate in chaos, and when there's no chaos, I'm not very good, and when there is chaos, I know what to do.
Yeah. It's as the late great Shane Warne used to say, if I don't know what the ball's going to do off the surface, the batter sure has no idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of cricket, here's Fitzgerald with the ball. Finds Jacob Sutherland. Jesus, this is a cricket line here. They need Kapoor back on. It's good defence from Abuba to deal with Arabella Barr there. That's a great little reset option there. Just being patient and getting it out back to Fitzgerald. Here's Sutherland. That's great. Fakes the shot, steps inside. That's where his shot's dangerous because people jump at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you probably shouldn't because, he makes them at a reasonable rate, but he's more, his percentages are higher if he's going to make that step on you. You've got to just you want him making that shot. It's a lower percentage option.
Yep.
It's something you don't, because especially in this country where I don't think we shoot enough, and there's not the stats, you don't have a sense of what some of the numbers are. I feel like someone like Jacob Sutherland would only make that shot 40% of the time. If you treat it like a basketball 3-point shot, that's still a good percentage.
Yeah.
It's easy people think you miss that a lot, don't take it. But that's not how it works because goals are such a commodity. If you're going to take 8 of them a game and make 3 of them, that's a game-changing percentage right there on the scoreboard. Ball's loose, general chaos. Bianca Scalone's got it. Same thing.
I think this is the first time we've seen Chris Collins in this game, which is really surprising because Chris played the majority of the Leadbeaters game earlier this morning.
Yep. That's awesome.
I'm going to be honest, this is really disappointing that this is the grand final of State Shield 2024. We saw games yesterday where the Leadbeaters played the Blue Tongues and it went goal for goal, and we played a range game and the Blue Tongues won both games on a catch. And now we have a grand final that is a complete blowout. And it's unlikely the Blue Bottles are going to come back into contention. And it's really anticlimactic.
Yeah, I am curious to see, because I said before, I expected this first one to maybe be the closer one. But last year we saw, not this level, we saw a big win for the Blue Tongues game 1, and then they kind of hedged their bets and they trusted they had Queensland covered and played some of their other players in game 2 and ended up giving it away. And Queensland snuck game 2 in there. And so the combination of that and how the Blue Bottles, I hope, will be even more sort of frothing for blood next game and really wanting to prove themselves more, I actually think we might get a closer game 2. But, closer doesn't necessarily mean a different result. But yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, it's hard. Like we said earlier, it's just how the matchups work. Is Blue Bottles good matchup on Victoria, who are good match on Blue Tongues. That's great from Arabella Barr through
Beautiful
2 pieces of contact
Arabella.
there. Great confidence, just call for the ball early from Sutherland. So you've got Maddie Moulton on now in exchange with Ryan Shields. There's a miss there, so there's an opportunity here for a control play. Chris Collins, you're right. Oh, that's unlucky. And I think that's always the high risk with Collins. But I know what you mean, because there's a sudden difference in the athletic level there. Collins, he's a special talent, Chris Collins, in any position. And, there was a sudden clear change of the intensity and pace. As you said, it happened in the Victoria game too, just from Collins with the ball. And I don't think he doesn't bring a particular intensity in his character. He's just one of those runny boys, like you get so many. That's a bad term. He just goes all day, and he's such an incredible natural athlete. Oh, great from Eloise Taylor. Shakes for the tackle and just makes a little strip there. Now Amber really gets high, makes the big hit on Barr, who finds Sutherland. Collins probably over aggressive there. It opens up Scalone's lane. I don't mind that play from Collins because it was on. All right, so we have brooms down here. The referees will have a chat here. But you're right, 140 to 10, which you're right, isn't the score you're looking for in a grand final. But I definitely have some sort of faith that the Blue Bottles can make more of a game than the second one. But the Blue Tongues have definitely set themselves up for a big run to glory here. And yeah, it's good to see that they're also, they respect. The other reason it's like this is they're respecting the Blue Bottles. That they're playing all their top players and they're playing hard. Which is important to see, because the only thing that would be worse and more anticlimactic than this is if they were, colluding in some way to make it a close final. That would be a disaster. So yeah, it's just a pleasure to see high quality quad ball in the end, which is what you're always getting out of the Blue Tongues. So we've got stoppage here. You're right, there's a possible interference call there, but there's not a lot happening here. So it looks like Amber Brearley's running the show in the conversations here, which is probably the right way to do it with the 4 chases we've got on there. Amber Brearley feels like the natural field general there. Chris Collins and Alex Butler are an interesting pairing to put together because they both have that same brain off, legs go energy to them. Yep. So we have Yeah,
Maddie
we've got a
Moulton
bloody
going in the
turnover.
box.
Ah, so it's a foul from Maddie Moulton. That makes sense. I didn't see it, but like I'm aware of Maddie's game. That checks out.
Mhm.
And it's never malicious with Maddie. It's often just doziness. So we've got a foul from Maddie Moulton here. So she'll head for the penalty box. And then yeah, Bludger resets to the Rebecca Robb, which is not really any use at all because Ashan's right there. So it's a weird thing where Ashana Bay can still, to a degree, kind of not a full control play, but he can control the pace here if he deals it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he'll probably be conservative about it because he's got they've got a fast break, so he's clearly just getting out of there because Beck's thought he will be to beat Ashan immediately. Which again isn't really, weirdly, there's kind of no use in either of these two engaging with each other in any real way here. There's nothing they can kind of gain from it.
No, and I mean, Chris Collins is nowhere near up the field enough for Beck to engage at the moment. And if they go for a trade, Beck has to run 3/4 of the field and Ashan has to run
Yeah, and then he's
like
set.
5 meters.
No matter what, Ashan is going to be set here. So Beck should really just get out of there and play possession. Because
Yeah,
she does the
perfect.
exact right thing there. Because otherwise, you're just giving up control there for no reason, and she'll just set. That's great play. That's the difference between now and 6 months ago. She's really come a long way, Rebecca Robb. So Butler, good motion there. Opens up the space for Taylor because of the spacing he was able to make. Beautiful from Taylor. Finds Amber Brearley. That shot was on. It's good angles. She just missed it. Unlucky.
Yep, I agree.
Ball resets to Tom Russell. So we have our flag run roll. I believe that's your boy Max Duke doing it here. It looks like.
Yeah, our Victorian snitch.
That's the
Max
right
been,
call
yeah,
for
Max
this
been
match.
snitching for us all year in Victoria, which has been really great because, we struggle with players. We struggle, you're struggling to get players.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you've got refs. So I
Sutherland
refed.
makes the easy shot.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I refed a lot of games in Victoria when I was out with my broken finger.
Yeah.
Even I refed like my team, just because I was the only available person to be the head referee.
When you're out, that's what you got to do. Is take the quality. Reminds me of Kim Couch refereeing the World Cup final. So we have Max Brenner's come on with Jacob Sutherland. I haven't seen a lot of Brenner this game. They've relied on Kapoor and Sutherland to do all that work. It's been a bit of a quiet. It's been fine when he was on, but he hasn't. This is only the second run now. He's had short minutes. Max Brenner.
Oh, nice intercept there by Carrie Crawford.
Great from Crawford. So Maddie
Beat
Moulton's
by
back on.
JV.
It's fast
That was
break.
probably a really unnecessary
Oh.
throw by JV
So we have-
because it turned over Bludger control.
So we have
to
Cooper
New South
Fitzgerald
Wales.
here. Cooper Fitzgerald versus Carl Kovarik as the Seekers. Kovarik almost straight away got a clean grab. So this is Max Duke here. He will deal with both of them this weekend, but basically he'll have never seen Carl. Certainly he was a bit of a revelation. This is another one who's first time at this level. He's had, he's a great young athlete, but he's often not been around a lot and he's on a struggling program. And so he's one where when added to this Blue Bottle squad, the question was, will the commitment be there? Will he be able to make it? And he's been outstanding through the campaign, just training wise. But then he's always had the talent to be a seeker and has gotten 2 massive clutch catches this weekend.
Yeah,
He's just got that
absolutely. I
length.
haven't seen him play anything else but Seeker.
No, he had a couple of good chaser runs yesterday, but
Okay.
that's definitely what he's here because he was an original reserve. He was upgraded last minute with some injuries, but Fitzgerald's made the grab. It looks like, which is always how it goes. He just finds a way. He's so clutch, Cooper Fitzgerald. He's in such a run of catches. Nations Cup, NQL's midwinter winning catch. He's just consistently high quality. And he always sneaks up on. He's athletic enough, and then just a really clever little technician. And as long as he's got the right beta support, he finds a way. So
Yeah, absolutely.
the rest
I
will
think,
talk here, but it looks clean.
Yeah, I don't think there's any foul on the play from what I could see. It'll be really interesting when it comes to picking the Australian team for World Cup next year, which is on I think it's the 11th to the 13th of July in Belgium, in Brussels. And with Simon Spann no longer in the ANS program, we are going to need a seeker.
Yeah.
And I think that slot is wide open.
Yeah.
In the past, we've relied on, it's mainly been Simon Spann.
Yeah.
And prior to Simon Spann, it was Neil Chemister. But
Well,
we give, Jacob Sutherland has a run at seeking, Nathan Morton has a run at seeking, but it's not their primary position. Like
exactly,
they're not
needed elsewhere.
Yeah, they're needed elsewhere, especially like Nathan's always been our snitch on pitch beater as well. Even though I think really for ANS he's making the transition to chaser.
Really? Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is what I anticipate, just because like he's been chasing and keeping for 3 years now for Victoria at a state shield level. He chases and keeps at our club level.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't
right
have the
call.
experience in beater anymore.
That catch is called good. Long
I-
deliberation, but they're just making sure. Yeah, you've got, to me, you've got Jacob Sutherland and Alex Cunningham, who I think will be in that squad whatever happens, as their primary options. But Cooper Fitzgerald's an interesting one in that he's right on that cusp there where the seeking could make the difference to get him in that he probably wouldn't quite be otherwise. That's where it's interesting. So we have a clean catch there for Cooper Fitzgerald of the Blue Tongues. So that should... I thought I had the goals at 140. The score has this here as 160-10 as the final. So I believe they've got 13 goals and then added one more. So in the handshakes now. So what we have now, I believe, I'm just trying to remember where we were at. 1, 2, 3. So you're straight up again now, aren't you, before lunch? Is my understanding.
Yes, that is
so
my understanding as well. Lunch is at 1. Our next game is at 12, which is in 16 minutes.
Yep.
It's going to be Victorian Leadbeaters versus Queensland Thunderbirds again. If Queensland Thunderbirds win this game, we go to a third game in the series. If Victorian Leadbeaters win this game, I believe the series is just over, and Victorian Leadbeaters place third, and Queensland Thunderbirds place fourth.
Yep, and then straight away after lunch is the next big one. So the second game of this grand final series, we scheduled at 1 o'clock. Blue Bottles versus Blue Tongues game 2, same deal. So we have a pair of game 2s now. So make sure you're tuning in soon. You don't want to come late and end up missing everything, because we could be done here at 2 o'clock if both series go the same way the second game.
Gives me time to wash my hair before the social.
Okay, but it is going to be a big turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hopefully we get some game 3 somewhere. So that was a good game there. We have a 15-minute turnaround here. So join us back here shortly in 10 minutes or so. We'll have probably Giacomo Abuba and some more fun lad bants there. We'll be taking us through the Victoria versus Queensland contest in 10 minutes. So thanks very much to Nicola. And
Thanks,
we'll
Hoss.
see you again shortly.
What?
Yeah, I got to get Coleman, yeah.
I interviewed Liv yesterday.